The principle of sufficient reason itself is, in Leibniz's words, that no fact can be real or existing and no statement true unless it has a sufficient reason why it should be thus and not otherwise. Most frequently, however, these reasons cannot be known to us. So, for example, the fact that water boils at 100 degrees C is explained by the chemical properties of water. These are the reasons why these things are facts, or sometimes you can't know what this reason is. So, for example, the force of gravity is much weaker than the nuclear forces, for example. And to my understanding, this is a bit of a mystery in physics, like why gravity is so much weaker than these other forces. But there will be a reason why gravity is weaker. So again, every fact has a sufficient reason. There's always an explanation why it's the case, even though we can't always know what that explanation is. Leibniz then applies this principle of sufficient reason to two kinds of truths: necessary truths and contingent truths. So just as a quick reminder, a necessary truth is something that is true and couldn't possibly be false, like the principle of non-contradiction, or 2 + 2 = 4. So Leibniz says the sufficient reason for necessary truths is revealed by analysis. To understand what non-contradiction means is to understand it's just self-evidently true, or these other necessary truths like 2 + 2 = 4. You can kind of break them down into their more fundamental components, perhaps, until you eventually reach these self-evident logical principles that don't require any further explanation. But the sufficient reason for contingent truths isn't reached so easily. So going back to my example of water boiling at 100 degrees C, well, you could say the reason water boils at 100 degrees C is because of the chemical properties of the molecules. But then this just raises further questions of why the water molecules are arranged this way and why the laws of physics are the way they are. So any explanation we give of contingent truths will just be another contingent truth. It's this infinite regress problem again. So Leibniz says that in order to provide a sufficient reason for contingent truths, we need to step outside this sequence of contingent facts and appeal to something which exists necessarily. So Leibniz says, it is thus that the ultimate reason for things must be a necessary substance, and this substance we call God.